And whenever you're ready, Ken, you can go ahead and introduce yourself and begin.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ken Sauer, and I'm Senior Associate Commissioner and Chief Academic Officer here at the Commission. And it is my pleasure to spend a little time with you talking about the Indiana College Core. I'm not sure if everyone has gotten into the breakout yet. Should we wait a moment before we get into the presentation or start? I think we're ready to start. All right, very good. Well, we like to call this Indiana College Core 101, and it's a good introduction to the Indiana College Core, what it is, how it works, benefits, etc. Next slide, please. Are you advancing?
It takes a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the slide that we are awaiting to appear is the sort of a quick legislative history of transfer here in Indiana. I won't go into this in any detail. I would make two major points. One is that legislation is an important underpinning of all of the transfer work in the state, and there is no daylight between dual credit, the Indiana College Core, and transfer. The two are linked together. The other point I'd make is that, as you can see from these dates, we've been at this work a long time, and I'll get into more some of the detail around each one of these legislative initiatives. So with that, let's take a look at the components of transfer in Indiana. I'm going to start at the top and then work down. So first, as I mentioned, we have dual credit and dual enrollment courses. Dual credit courses taken at high schools, dual enrollment courses taken on college campuses that count both toward the high school diploma and a post-secondary credential. We have the credit for prior learning, which is another initiative that the Commission has been working on for several years now. This basically is a way for different kinds of experiences and learning outside of the non-traditional ways of taking courses, etc., that will translate into credit for courses that will apply toward post-secondary credentials. Then we have the core transfer library, and I'll get into more detail about that in a moment, but these are 87 courses that transfer. Then we have the Indiana College Core. We sometimes refer to this as the ICC, but for many reasons, we'd like to use the full name of the Indiana College Core as we communicate to wide audiences about it. And then finally, we have something called the Transfer Single Articulation Pathways. The acronym is TSAP, pronounced TSAPs. For those of us who use this term every day, TSAPs just kind of rolls off the tongue very readily, and it may not for everybody, but these are an important component of transfer, as is the other items that I mentioned. The next slide provides some definitions. I won't go through each one of these. I will call attention to a few on the right-hand side. I already mentioned dual enrollment, which in Indiana refers to courses taken on college campuses that also apply to the high school diploma. Primary post-secondary partner, we'll get into that in a little more detail later, but basically we, the Commission, want to have one post-secondary public institution be the primary partner that the high school works with. And again, we'll talk a little bit more about this later. And then I mentioned TSAPs. I've already explained the acronym and the term. So this is more of a reference slide for you. And I think we'll be distributing these slides to everyone, so you'll just have this available to you. Now we'll go through each one of the components. So the first one we'll go to is the core transfer library. And this particular element of transfer, it goes back in terms of its legislative roots to 2005, although the commission had been doing work in this area, and there had been other legislation that predates this all the way back to 1992. So once again, I just wanted to emphasize that we've been at the work of improving transfer within the state for a long time. There are some 87 courses that comprise the core transfer library, and they are in 6 categories, and I'll get into that in a moment. But it is these courses have been scrutinized by all of the public institutions, and actually we have a few private institutions that participate as well in the core transfer library. These courses are reviewed periodically to make sure they stay current. There is an infrastructure of committees in place that make sure that if a course title changes or if content changes, does it still transfer in that particular category? Almost all of these 87 courses transfer as 1-for-1 equivalent. That is to say, a course taken on one campus will account for an equivalent course on another institution that will accept that as a transfer credit. Then let's move to the Indiana College Core. Next slide, please. There we are. Very good. So this particular element of transfer it goes back to legislation that was passed in 2012. So it's now more than a decade old. The Indiana College Core comprises 30 semester credit hours of credit, and they transfer as a block. So if you complete the core, all of those courses that went into those 30 hours will transfer to another institution and will apply toward completing a degree at that institution. Now, I'm going to call attention to the circle on the right-hand side of this slide. And first, let's talk about the 3 pieces of the pie that are on the top edge of that, the foundational intellectual skills. And these translate into courses that are taken in written communication, speaking and listening, and quantitative reasoning. And as you can see from the numbers there, the 3+, what that means is that you need to take at least one 3-semester hour course in each one of those 3 foundational intellectual skills in order to complete that part of the Indiana College Core. The 3 slices of pie on the bottom part of that circle speak to the 3 ways of knowing: scientific, social and behavioral, and humanistic artistic. And once again, in each one of these areas, the student needs to take at least one 3-semester hour course in each one of those areas. The other, so add that up, 18 hours. The other 12 can be taken, they must be taken in these areas, but they can lead to courses in different parts of the foundational intellectual skills or the ways of knowing. Okay, so let's now get into a little more detail about the core. So let me call your attention to the first check mark over there. And the word competency appears. When the Indiana College Core legislation was passed, it indicated that the Indiana College Core had to be based on competencies. So we went through an elaborate procedure. I won't explain all of that to you, but basically the public institutions, the academic leadership got together, said, these are the 6 areas of competency that need to be in the core. And this was facilitated by the commission. Once those 6 areas were established, we instituted faculty panels that had representation from each one of the public institutions on it, and it was co-chaired by a faculty member from a 2-year institution and a faculty member from a 4-year institution. Second check mark there indicates that 15 hours, a minimum of 15 hours, must be earned from a particular institution, the primary post-secondary provider. And then finally, that you need to take a minimum of your GPA has to be a minimum of 2.0 for the courses within the Indiana College Core. On the right-hand side, you'll see that we reference AP classes as well as CLEP and International Baccalaureate. I'd also add in as the Cambridge International, as the potential exists for some schools partnering with Cambridge International and offering their classes. We already have been working on equivalencies between grades in Cambridge and courses that are offered on our public institutions campuses. But these also will count toward the core. So if you score, let's say, a 4 or a 5 on the AP calculus AB exam, that will translate into a credit that will count toward the quantitative reasoning part of the Indiana College Core. I should say completion of the core doesn't guarantee admission. So those are 2 separate things. But if you are admitted, the core will transfer as a block to that receiving institution and will apply toward a post-secondary credential on that campus. Okay, let's. I want to stress, and this is really important, that no matter which public institution completes, awards a certificate, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but when a student completes the Indiana College Core, the post-secondary institution that offered at least 15 hours of that core will award a certificate to the student who completes the core. And once that certificate is awarded, that certificate, those 30 hours, will apply toward any receiving post-secondary institution. And by the way, we now have a couple of independent institutions that will accept the core as well. And we will be working with independent colleges of Indiana to see if we can increase the number of independent institutions that will accept the core in the same way that public institutions accept it and apply it to post-secondary credentials offered on that campus. In the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead to the next slide because we like to be positive in terms of how we talk about the Indiana College Core, but we also have to stress what it is not. And there is a language in the Indiana Code that references a statewide transfer general education core. We used to use the acronym for that term, but it really didn't communicate well. So we try to avoid that now. We always say the Indiana College Core, or in more informed circles, we say the ICC, but we like to spell out the name, the Indiana College Core, because I think, communicates more widely. Sometimes you'll hear the term Core 30. We avoid that. That is, we don't use that term. It's just confusing. Again, we always come back to the Indiana College Core. Some people confuse the Indiana College Core because with the Core 40, which is, of course, a reference to a high school diploma type. And but some people get those mixed up. So we will never refer to the Indiana College Core as Core 40, because it's not. That's totally different. And then finally, some years ago, there was a lot of discussion about a nationwide Common Core. So we avoid that term as well. Again, it's a little long, Indiana College Core, but that is the term that communicates very well. That's the term that we always use to describe it. So I already mentioned that the Indiana College Core it transfers to all public institutions and a growing but small number at this point of independent institutions. It doesn't completely satisfy the general education requirements at four-year institutions. In other words, four-year institutions generally require more than 30 credit hours to complete their campus-wide or university-wide general education requirements. We actually have a survey out now to determine exactly how many credit hours are in each institution's campus-wide general education core, because we'd like to give students and counselors a range of credit hours of general education courses that the student will have to take beyond the 30 credit hours that are required in the Indiana College Core. I won't even hesitate to give you a range at this point, but that it will be some, you'll have to take some additional courses to complete the university-wide core that is offered by the institution. The other point, and I'll come back to this again, but that is the bullet point on the bottom of the slide, is that it's important for students to think about what majors they'd like to pursue, because that could influence the type of course that they would take in order to complete the general education core. So my favorite example, and this is the first question on the right-hand side, that students and others ought to consider, which is what are the science or math requirements for the major that the student would like to pursue in an associate degree or a bachelor's degree. So in other words, just to give you an example, you can complete the Indiana College Core with a 3-hour quantitative reasoning course, which satisfies the math requirements in many programs. But if you're interested in engineering, then you need to be on that college algebra calculus track. And at the end of the presentation, we'll talk about a tool we have that can help to determine what courses students might want to take depending on their major. Okay, so and this is important as we communicate the importance of the core. Why are we pushing students to, if they're able to complete that Indiana College Core? Well, there are several reasons. First of all, it's a way of getting ahead with your post-secondary education, and if you can complete the core in high school, it provides more flexibility with respect to the number and types of courses that you might take at the post-secondary institution. In addition, it allows students to explore more opportunities once they get on campus. So that it may be that someone wants to pursue a minor that is of interest to them or might provide some employment-related expertise that would translate into more or better job opportunities. Study abroad might be another way in which somebody would, having completed the core, it provides a little more flexibility to pursue a study abroad opportunity. Work experience, co-op or internship, or other ways in which completing the core could lead to some benefits and more opportunities on campus. Volunteer organizations. There's just there are a lot of additional exploration opportunities that are available to students who have completed the core before they actually enroll on campus. And then finally, saving money and time is important as well. For some students, it's important to complete that 4-year degree, let's say, in 3 years, having completed essentially the first year in high school. And for some, that's really important. And this provides a pathway for students to realize those benefits if those are priorities to them. Now, and this is an important slide that we really like to emphasize, and completing the core in high school provides some real benefits. So about 90% of the students who earn the Indiana College Core go on to attend college, and that's so important. Post-secondary education, obviously preaching to the choir here, but it's so critical. And again, this figure of about 90% of students who complete the core go on to college is really important to emphasize. And in addition to that, once the students enroll in college, they also are more likely to be successful. We have some benchmarks that we use, that we track, and about 70% of the students will meet these benchmarks. So no remediation, for example, and you complete the courses that they attempt in that first year of college. So many students have trouble in that first semester. And as you can see, the students who earn the core are more likely to complete that first semester successfully, and indeed the first year in college, and come back to pursue the second year. So there are a lot of benefits, but these are two figures that we really like to emphasize because they're so important. Okay, so where are we in terms of the availability of the Indiana College Core in the high schools that are in our state? And at this point, as we speak, there are 222, nice round number here, that are currently offer the core. And by the way, we have criteria that we have developed, and I'll mention this again a little later, but we've tried to be very deliberate about what it takes in order for a high school to be designated as a delivery site, a place where students at that high school can earn the Indiana College Core. And by the way, there are a couple of links here that are very useful, and I would encourage you to explore. The first link provides information about transfer, the transferin.net link. We have been, one of the, I think it was the first slide, one of the early slides about the the different initiatives we have. We've tried to make readily available in a clear way all of the transfer information that we have collected in support of these different transfer initiatives, and all of the course equivalencies, for example, AP exams, and how a course taken at one institution will transfer to another. All of that is on the transferin.net site, so I encourage you to look at this. My College Core is a wonderful tool that has been developed. It was we'll talk about this right at the very end, but it is a terrific tool that we think will help students, counselors, parents to, and most importantly, students to be much more informed about the core and what courses they need to take in order to complete it. Okay. So who is awarding the certificate right now in high school? Remember I said that we have as policy, if a student completes the Indiana College Core, the post-secondary institution, the primary post-secondary institution, will award a certificate. And as you can see from the infographics here, we have almost all of our public institutions that are offering the Indiana College Core at high schools around the state. The Vincennes and Ivy Tech, which really were the initial institutions and had been offering this for some time. You can see Purdue, Fort Wayne, Northwest, all of the IU campuses except Indianapolis. You have the University of Southern Indiana, Ball State, Indiana State that are offering the core. And it's important that most of our public institutions have now joined in our effort to offer the Indiana College Core at high schools. And we're, by having this wide-scale participation on the part of our public institutions, we feel confident that we will be able to make the Indiana College Core available to all of our high school students within the state. So I mentioned earlier about this primary post-secondary partner and what's involved there. I won't go into a lot of detail, but let me sort of drop down to the bottom part of this slide that involves a post-secondary institution signing a formal MOU with the high school partner. And this MOU, the criteria that guides both the high school and the post-secondary partner in this MOU, and that results in a high school being formally recognized by the Commission as a delivery site for the Indiana College Core. It involves responsibilities both for the high school as well as the primary post-secondary partner. And I'll mention one or two of these things a little later on, but I guess the important thing that I want to stress here is that we do have a formal process by which high schools are recognized as delivery sites for the Indiana College Core. And again, there are responsibilities both for the partner high school as well as the partner post-secondary institution, which is the primary post-secondary provider at that high school. And there are resources that can spell out in greater detail what these responsibilities are. I do want to recognize the partnership that the Commission has with CEL, which is a center at the University of Indianapolis. CEL stands for, it's a little hard to see maybe in this slide, but it's the Center of Excellence in Leadership of Learning. And that center is widely recognized as a center of excellence, and the CEL has been a great partner that the Commission has had in working with high schools and providing opportunities for dual credit at these high schools. The one thing I'll mention is the endorsed early college initiative that CEL leads. And in short, this is a way to that high schools can be recognized as providing a top-level support services and data collection about the success of students at their schools. It's a great program, and encourage everybody to look into that. You'll see there are two individuals who lead this effort, Sandy Hillman and Steve Combs, are at the bottom of the slide there. And if you're interested in this, I would encourage you to contact them. All right, let's talk about expanding the Indiana College Core. I mentioned before that there are some 222 high schools. We really have established, the Commission has established a goal of having all high school students being able to complete the Indiana College Core if they are so inclined. And obviously we're encouraging the students to carefully think about this because of the benefits that we went over earlier. We want to have an increase in the number of high schools that offer the Indiana College Core each year. There's another slide that I'll in a moment that I'll get to, but the point here is that expansion of the Indiana College Core is a top priority of the Commission for Higher Education, and having more students earn a post-secondary credential is also a joint priority of the Commission and the Department of Education. I would be remiss if I didn't speak to some of the equity gaps in pre-college credit. And I don't know if you can see this full slide. There we are. Okay, very good. I just want to touch on the first couple of bullet points on the slide. 30% of Black students and 50% of Hispanic Latino students earn dual credit, and that's good. That number has been going up, but it's not as high as it should be. 65% of white students earn dual credit. And this is, I wish the numbers here were better, but it's important to speak to where we are so that we can recognize we have a gap and we've got to work hard to fill that gap. This is really important to the Commission. I'm sure it's important to all of you as well, but it's so important that we come back to the facts, look at things as they are now, so that we can redouble our efforts to make sure that all Hoosier students have the opportunity to complete the Indiana College Core. Now, this is, I guess, kind of a good statistic. If you want to, AP is great, and we encourage, we have a great partnership with the Indiana College Board and with the College Board, and we encourage AP exams to be taken. But if you look at the percentages here, 15% of the AP credit earners are from low-income backgrounds, as compared to more than double the percent of students from low-income backgrounds who earn dual credit, 34%. So that's, I guess, kind of a good statistic, but we'd like to have that percentage even higher, again, in the spirit of not having equity gaps in terms of the student population that is served by the Indiana College Corps. There are geographic differences in early college. I'm going to detail there, but if you look at the map of delivery sites, some of those will become apparent. And obviously, we want every part of the state well served by the dual credit opportunities available and for students to earn the Indiana College Corps. Next slide provides just a few key statistics here. By our count, and by our, I mean when the Commission and the Department of Education, we look at the number of high schools that are around the state. There are 507. Always that number is going to change slightly from year to year, mergers and so on. But we need a baseline number, a denominator, if you will. And that's the number of high schools. And we want all of those high schools to offer the Indiana College Corps to their students. As I said, right now, 222 high schools meet the criteria that the Commission has established to be designated as a delivery site for the Indiana College Corps. If we increase that number by about 55% each year, we think we'll get there. We'll get to that 507 figure by academic year 2025-26. The next slide just shows a map, some different views of the map in terms of the years here and where we are now versus where we want to be. And it's important that high schools be able to take a look at other high schools in their region to see which of those have been able to offer the Corps. And this is important because we want to make public this information and make it very accessible so that high schools that are currently not offering the Corps will see neighboring high schools that have been able to do that. And we certainly would encourage conversations with those high schools that are delivery sites for the Corps so that a high school that's not there yet can benefit from the experience of high schools, neighboring high schools that have been able to do that. Just a word or two about financial aid. State financial aid cannot be used for dual credit or for dual enrollment, for that matter. The Commission does have a policy that caps the tuition that students in high school can be charged for priority courses that will feed into the Indiana College Corps, and that cap is $25 per credit hour. I will say that Ivy Tech and IU do not charge anything for their dual credit courses, but if an institution does charge tuition, that tuition cannot exceed more than $25 per credit hour. I should stress that for students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, there is no tuition that can be charged to those students, and that's important. And then finally, I want to stress FAFSA completion. We want all students to complete their FAFSA forms, and it is, remember I've talked about the criteria that applies to both high schools and the primary post-secondary partner in order to be designated as a delivery site for the Indiana College Corps. One of those criteria speaks to the high school and it asks the high school to partner to emphasize completion of the FAFSA forms as part of their responsibility as being a delivery site for the Indiana College Corps. There, as a result of the action by the General Assembly, there are now some incentives for high schools to offer the Indiana College Corps. They're $40 per credit hour completed by the student. That applies both to dual credit and dual enrollment courses, with a $1,200 maximum per student. And in addition to that, for students who complete the Indiana College Corps, $1,500 per completion, student completions, it would be available to the high school. I can't speak to the logistics there. That's, I think, something that's a question better addressed to the Department of Education. And then finally, I'd just like to wrap up by talking about a wonderful tool that is now available. It's called My College Corps. And I just want to spend a few minutes on this as we wrap up this session. Again, this is a wonderful tool that took quite a bit of effort to develop, but we had some funding available, and we had a great technology partner to work with to develop this platform. The tool it was actually launched August 1st, so it's not been available very long, but it is terrific. And there was a link to that earlier, and I would encourage you to check this out. We look at it as a kind of a one-stop shop for all things pertaining to the Indiana College Corps. We put a lot of effort, and we had some, feedback, focus groups that helped to guide us in terms of how we could package all of the information that everybody needs to know about the Indiana College Corps in an easily accessible way. We've tried to do that. We always welcome feedback if we can do it better or if we need to add elements to that. But we feel pretty good about all of the information that we have packed into this. I want to stress that it is a planning tool. So it's one thing to talk about the different components of the Indiana College Corps, but it's another to actually think in concrete terms, in terms of what specific dual credit courses do I need to take in order to complete the Corps? What is available at my high school? And by the way, we recognize, everybody knows that a high school will typically have 2 or more post-secondary institutions that are offering dual credit courses. It is the responsibility of the primary post-secondary partner at that high school to identify all of the courses that are available to students. So not just from their institution, but from other post-secondary institutions, because that information has to be uploaded into the tool so it can be available to students at that school. One great thing about this is that it can be, once the plan has been developed, you don't need a login to use the tool, but if you want to create an account, that enables you to save the plan, modify it, and email it to the student can email it to parents, counselors, really any sort of significant other adult that they look to for guidance in this area. It's not a scheduling tool. So while you can plan it out, work with your counselor to actually schedule the courses that you need to take, and there are lots of resources that are available, including for the high school, posters, handouts, presentations that we make available and that all counselors can use. So we're getting close to the end of the session. I think we wanted to leave at least a little time for questions. Jessica Barrett actually is off to a meeting that the College Board has called. She would normally be a part of this presentation, but we work closely with the College Board, and that takes some effort to make sure we're in sync. Please feel free to reach out to her. I'm available too, but I certainly would encourage you to reach out to Jessica. So do we have any questions?
Mm-hmm. I will display them.
Okay. Okay. Is the Indiana College Corps financial aid eligible when completed post-secondary? Let's see. I'm not quite sure. I guess what I would say is once again, you can't use any state aid to take dual credit courses or dual enrollment courses, so that doesn't affect the financial aid. When you get to the college, all of that is available. So that's, I think, a good thing. I hope I answered that question. Is there another one? Okay. Mm-hmm. Can a student earn the College Corps independently, taking a blend of dual credit AP courses offered at their high school and filling in gaps via Ivy Tech and other colleges, or do they need to attend a high school? The short answer is that our emphasis has been on working with high schools, the students there, counselors, parents. We've been emphasizing what the high school can do in partnership with a primary post-secondary partner. However, having said that, we don't want to disadvantage any student who wishes through a more independent way, let's say, to complete courses that would enable that student to earn the Indiana College Corps. So in other words, for example, if they wanted to pick up a course on their own at a college campus that would apply to the Indiana College Corps, and that isn't part of, let's say, an agreement that the local high school has with the local post-secondary campus, because there are some high schools don't have enough faculty to offer all of the dual credit courses, qualified faculty to offer the dual credit courses to complete the Corps. But if a student was in a position to earn a course on their own that would apply toward the Corps, then we don't want to get in the way of that student completing the Corps. Now, they would still have to have 15 hours from a single public post-secondary institution in order to earn that Corps, so that they could be issued the certificate signifying completion of the Corps. But if they want to take a course on their own and it apply and it would be a course that applies to the Indiana College Corps, then we don't want to stand in the way of that student completing that Corps. Okay. Any other questions? Are all courses reviewed? Yes, I think this, if I understand the thrust of this question, we monitor, or we, meaning the commission in partnership with the primary post-secondary partners, monitor what courses are available at a particular high school each year, because that changes over time. And one of the responsibilities of the primary post-secondary partner is to keep that information current. So if there are changes in terms of which courses are being offered, or if there's a change in terms of the post-secondary institution that's offering a particular course, that we keep on top of that, and that's one of the responsibilities of the primary post-secondary partner, so that the course offerings at that high school can be refreshed each year and can be absolutely current. Any other questions? I think we're at the end of this session. So thank you all for your attention and participation. And let's all do everything we can do to encourage people to have students complete the Indiana College Core. And please check out my College Core, this planning tool that we were talking about. I think, Kate, did you put that? Is that available? Is that link in the chat?
It's on the slides, yes. And
oh, it's on.
We'll share those. And any questions we didn't get to, we will reach out. We have your email.
Very good. Thank you so much.